How do we start this? Happy New Year. It's Wine Divination, a segment of Witchy. Sorry, I got that mixed up.
Oh my God. It's Witchy and whining about it.
A segment of Wine Divination. Okay, start this year off fucked up. Yeah. We're your hosts. I'm Christy.
Truly, I'm Devin. True. And we have back, if you haven't watched or listened to our last episode or watched, because you can.
We have a special guest
this time. We have a special guest this time for Witchy and Whining About It. She was on our last episode.
The
multi-talented, wonderful, beautiful Marguerite Noki.
Yay! Hi, I'm back. It's me. Surprise.
Welcome
they didn't get rid of me yet.
Okay, here's the tea. For this episode, we're getting our cards read about the podcast.
Yes.
What's the future of the pod? What's the tea? We're joined also by Otho.
Otho's co-hosting. Here
and,
he is.
Yeah, let's freaking get into it. So give us a little recap. Who are you? What do you do? What's your zhuzh?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think I actually left off at a perfect place where I, talked about, my early life. But basically I'm a creative, but I also work in logistics for my day job. Is sort of a meld of, I said, I straddle sort of two worlds. So I do a little bit of both. So I remember one time in undergrad, a guy said to me, I was in a math class because I was not good at math, called Crossing the River with Dogs. Was actually that was the textbook. So that was the name of the class. And it was word problems because it was
real world math?
Yeah, no, it was word problem math. I can't even explain it, but for sophomores in college.
Fun.
It was. I was good at it. And anyway,
champagne.
Yeah, I'll take some.
Okay.
The guy was like, you know what, Marguerite? You're secretly a weekend warrior, aren't you? And I said, that I am. So one time I convinced my friend to skip her class to go to lunch. And she's like, oh, just skip your class. I said, oh, I've never skipped a class in my life. She's like, what? And I was like, oh, I have a 3.9. And she was like, no, you don't. She was like, I drink with you on the weekends. And I was like, I know. And so people, I've always had this two different kind of vibe.
What age?
But I'm not a Gemini.
For that previous story, what age were you?
I left off when I was doing all of that, 20. I would say
I was imagining you in my head to be in middle school.
No.
And so I was like, this bitch is crazy.
Very middle school.
No, I was 21. So I think I kind of love to be in that energy. I'm not even sure how I got on that. See, we've already been drinking mezcal and we just, I think, finished the second bottle.
Yes.
Yikes. I'm that gas.
First.
So I just a little bit about me. Basically I've always been a mix of logistics and creative, and I said a weekend warrior, but also a serious student. I guess that's what that side tangent was. So a little bit of both. I think that's my Libra and my Aquarius kind of coming into play. As a kid, when I took the Harry Potter quiz, I was Gryffindor, and then growing up I became Gryffindor or Ravenclaw.
Okay, you know what? Me too, but then if you take it again,
I think I'd just be Raven. I think I would just be Ravenclaw at this point.
Do you know I oscillate between Gryffindor and Slytherin?
That makes I'm zero surprised. That makes so much sense. I think if I wasn't such a simp, I would have been a Slytherin. But I'm a little bit of a simp.
I've always wanted to be Slytherin. But then I've accepted that, okay, I'm a Gryffindor type, and then, they changed the quiz, and then I was a Ravenclaw, and then they changed the quiz again, and I took it again, literally, earlier this, or I guess last year, because we're in 2023 now. And, so
Indeed.
I
always forget the beginning of the first month of 2023.
Yeah, I write everything wrong.
December 2022, I'm it's 2023. It's when I say I'm turning 31 and I'm still 30, and then I don't know if I'm 32 or 31 when I have my birthday.
Yeah.
Mark, forgive my invoice entry mistakes already with the date.
Stop for tomorrow.
Yeah.
For tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
Not that I don't make it a lot already.
No, you're good. You're good. So I had always sort of balanced this occult, creative, escapist sort of world. Yeah, it was cute. It was fun. It was a little bit of my Libra, a little bit of my Aquarius with a splash, enough emotion to fuel those other two who were a little bit more removed from emotion. Obviously, Cancer is the most emotional.
Yeah,
right. And so I think there's I think the Cancer will still mother my other signs, even when she's you're being a bitch. I just don't really have a soft spot for Geminis or Sagittariuses. There, I fucking said it.
I love Geminis.
You know, I'm
I'm often mistaken for a Gemini, and June Geminis are my least favorite, also with July Cancer. So I have personal biases against my bookends.
Do you know, I don't know a Gemini.
I love
good for
no,
you.
do.
Who?
Christine Haratunian. Junhee.
Oh shit, this makes so much fucking sense.
Yeah.
Honestly, I cannot stand them. June Geminis that are men, I'm cool with. June Geminis that are women, like people have often been like, "Are you a Gemini?" I'm like, I was supposed to be a Leo. Like you're going backwards, not forwards. Like, no.
I'm gonna slap you.
Like my best friend though is like fire, Gemini, like Aries, Gemini.
Oh,
and,
wow.
But I'm
really
an Aquarius,
chaotic.
Libra. So I think the air we kind of float through.
But it's also a little bit like opposite.
Right, it's different,
vibes.
opposite vibes, right? So the upfront water, fire. I always like to say water trumps everything, right? Water turns into air. Water penetrates. I think
my friend has a Pisces moon, so then we're both Pisces moons. So then we like vibe with each other on a really deep level.
Yes.
And then they're like, they've got the Virgo rising and then Gemini sun.
Oh, I see. Okay, I can see that. I think, well, and it's air, right? You guys see something different where for us, like Cancers, like we can't escape the emotionality. Like we cannot escape it. And that's why like I don't fault other Cancers, but sometimes it's even hard because I'm like, yo, we're getting so, I want to be the deep one. Yeah, I'm like, I want to be the deep one. And when we're both the deep one, I'm like, what? This is like a Reddit rabbit hole that's not going to end. Well, it's a Reddit rabbit hole that will just self-perpetuate and like momentum, like I don't even know how to like self-motivate into like a downward spiral, which is the friend I went to Hawaii with, because like we can just be so much fun, chaotic
energy. If you didn't hear about that, go to our last episode where we did Mark's cards, and this time she's gonna do our cards.
Yeah, so always had a mix of the two, sort of like whatever. And then I moved out here at 23, moved to Los Angeles, and there was someone I knew, June Gemini, female. The friendship, the friendship I think was like a lesson more than like a sustaining permanent friendship. But she had a deck and she always carried it in her purse, and so I broke the rules and I got my own one first, and I went to Barnes and Noble.
We all did that too.
Yeah, we did that.
Well, it's part of the journey of this.
Yeah. We were together when we bought our first deck.
We were at, I think it was Abbot Kinney in like around Venice Beach.
Oh, that's
we went to the whatever turtle.
Dude, that is your fucking vibe.
Yeah.
Like dazed and confused almost, but not quite. Like, but like, yeah.
We walked into the shop and we're like, should we just buy tarot cards?
But my first deck I used in my business, and it made me a ton of fucking money. Like
you had some pentacles showing up.
I literally used it like they were a staple at my business. Like she
literally displayed them.
I displayed them
as a prop,
and
people loved it.
People loved it.
Well, and I think you can't really. I think that actually speaks to me greatly because
the new mythic tarot.
Right. So I grew up watching Hercules and Xena. I love Greek mythology.
Yes, Hercules.
I walked in. I was Hercules one year for Halloween and Xena the next. Like I was both. Like say less.
Which one was which one went over better? Like which I can imagine both of these costumes. Which one?
Well, I have a picture with Hercules and Xena because I went to Universal in between the 2 years. So like,
wait, do you have the photos on your phone?
Not on not my. I could probably hit up my mom, but that's a whole other story.
No,
so I was I painted my room this color purple before I left for LA.
That's so
I walked into Barnes and Noble.
Yeah.
Thank you. I walked into Barnes and Noble and I said, "Okay, I've never done this before. I'm looking for the tarot decks."
And
you're like, "I'm terrified."
The new mythic tarot.
And no, get this. The employee goes, "Oh my God, you picked the right person. I'm like the one person here that loves tarot. Let me walk you to the back." And I said,
it's meant
"So
to
how
be.
will I know?" And she said, "Is this your first deck?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "You're buying it yourself." And I said, "Yeah." She said, "Okay." She was cool, but I knew it in my head, and I was like, "Ugh, but no one's gonna gift it to me, like whatever." So I was scanning the shelves.
Yeah.
It's a gift to yourself.
Well, and I think it's like, I think it's interesting in my journey, right? So I found it. It was the purple. It was Greek, and I was like, it was a light breeze. It was a light breeze, right? And I thought, okay, I feel it. Like there was like I could feel a little thing, and I would read it, and sometimes it would connect, sometimes it wouldn't, and I was like, that's the way it is. And that was maybe 2015, 2016, and then in 2020. And this is like so funny. So here's the moonstone on the front.
Mm.
A friend who's super religious, Christian.
Warm...
Well, I didn't even know. I didn't even have this yet. And the friend
But
who got
crazy.
me this wasn't the friend that got me this.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I had this and I was like, I do tarot, but okay. And then it was, I think for my 30th, which was 2021, because I was born in 91, a friend who's very religious, very Christian-based religion. Oh. And that's actually like a continuing conversation. She's a May Gemini. She's awesome though. I love her and she's so interesting. And she is like a pure, like we can have the philosophical debates and have fundamental differences. And she'll call me out and be like, you often give much less of an opinion in a hard conversation about politics than you want to. And I said, because I am the diplomat, because I am here. My personal opinion doesn't matter. I'm trying to bridge a gap. It's an ingratiating scheme.
What's your Myers-Briggs?
ENFJ.
Oh.
So I'm the diplomat. Mm-hmm.
I'm a INFP or INTP, whatever is a mediator.
Okay, yeah, we're kind of similar. I teeter actually on introvert. Most people don't believe it. And then also like my P and my J is very close, but I found like between business management and writing, and that's sort of the connection between the two. I love to create chaos. I love to create order out of chaos. That's clearly a trauma response, but
I honestly think that kind of works with what your whole brand is, with this whole like analytical creativity thing.
Yeah, like I love it. Like there are no rules because I adopt every script and every business to what it is, because I think the creative person sometimes lacks the structure. I was a creative person who lacked structure, and business management taught me how to write better scripts, you know? So I had this one.
Are you?
Yeah.
I've taken the test, but I don't remember.
I would probably say INTP.
You're probably what Jack is.
INTP.
That's what Jack is. That's what my partner is.
I get along with INTPs pretty
You're like
well.
an architect.
So you're
Analytical.
like so you derive energy from being introverted. You are observant versus you're intuitive versus observant, which means like you're more about like feeling versus rules. And then like thinking versus feeling is how you make decisions. I think you're a thinker over a feeler. And then P versus J is like is like very structured.
That's judging.
And then judging. Yeah, and so it's
Perceiving.
like, are you more like structured in what you build, or is it more free flow? And I feel like it's more free flow. So that's why I think you're an INTP.
Okay, we'll see. I'll take the test and I'll let you guys know.
Yeah, I would love that.
To be continued.
Yeah, so
we'll find out.
I think that's the friend who bought me
that's
this.
another episode in the future. We're gonna talk about
we should do that. Let's do it.
Yeah, and we'll see how it corresponds to maybe astrology
or
science. Now a psychology podcast.
Yeah.
Say less. I'm in. I will find some way to like make raw data correlate. Yeah, I would love that. Yeah. So this friend gave me this, and if you're listening, I love you.
Guidebook.
She said, "I hope this doesn't take you like far away from God." And
wild.
I have been like an atheist, and I've been like an atheist, and I would say I'm a spiritualist. I was like, "Oh, we broke up a long time ago." And I will tell you what, this is the first deck I was ever gifted, and immediately it resonated.
Cool.
I told you a little bit about
this big box. Okay, we see a book. We see a big box.
So I had this forever, and it's circular cards, and the moonstones are the back of yes. And so that's why I do the clockwise. We'll get into process. So I had this, and I always thought I would want to bring it, and I'd be like, this shit fucking like it will just fucking say it to your face.
Oh, I love that. I need that.
And that's why. But I've learned, right? Because from this, I curated that I don't ask personal questions that my ego is going to get involved in. So don't tell me.
No, we have nothing to tell.
No, you know what I mean? So I learned that kind of from this. So this is very powerful because it's like where I harness the sort of process of, okay, this is what I do. Like it's the first space where I just let my energy like be weird and freaky. And it's like, here we are. Mm-hmm. And I love that. And so I always wanted to bring it places, but it's kind of cumbersome, right? You see the box.
Yeah.
It's and you want to bring the book.
Yeah.
I would love for you guys to take a look at the spreads in 1 second here, which is why I pulled the books out. You can take a look through the first couple of pages, like what they are, right? So I had this.
Wait. Do you think that you should pick something for us and then explain to us what's going on?
We could do that. And then I could show you guys after, but I think there's some really cool spreads I would love for you guys to like take pictures of and maybe use.
Yes.
Because also here's the deal. I want you guys to understand the archetypes, which is part of the other like thing, because one of the readings is like archetype specific. So I'll get into what an archetype deck is in 1 second. So this is called the Wild Unknown Archetype Deck by Kim.
I like the colors
Kranz,
already.
me too.
Kim Kranz. Like, and it's not like a regular. It's not a regular tarot deck. It's a cool tarot deck.
You know what? But as Aquariuses, we love that.
I appreciate it.
It's
eat
vibey.
it up,
I feel like it's like this is my vibe. Like a sparkle in the middle, like some low key, like funky colors on the outside.
Like watercolor
I love
out
some
here.
weird shit.
Right. Yeah. Some pink, red, like not quite red. And I kept traveling over the course of this year, and I actually yet again knew my cousin was pregnant. She just had her son a couple days ago.
Please never predict my pregnancy.
Everyone always says, please tell me or don't tell me. It's so I knew because she had I know people that have had miscarriages, and so maybe not necessarily her, but I knew that her and her husband had been wanting a baby, and I kept having this vibe. And I
Can you explain that to us? Like what? Like
I don't.
What is
it's just like it's just
nothing.
It just pops into my head. I don't know. It's just like a thought, or it's a dream, or it's a thing.
You're
or
like, oh shit, so and so's pregnant. Like it's as easy
it's just
as that?
it's just. Well, I actually like my one friend, the friend whose dad was sort of speaking to me from like the underworld when me and him sort of like met there. Yeah. Her spiritual advisor, like I feel like I'm talking to her unborn child, and I later found out she has a fertility journey that she's on, and I'm like, oh, and then the friend was like asking about like numbers, and I gave this number, and she's like, oh, this is like a fraction of the number, like it's like this. I don't know. It's just been a thing. It's just a thing.
Amazing.
And I don't know.
I mean, that's a skill I'm not a skill, but a gift.
But it's also like I'm so in tune with like I also probably analyze people through the parent-child attachment. Like I often probably, now that I'm thinking about it, like I
okay, so we got the hee. Let me
like
know.
I've even like I one time met someone who worked for the government who spoke to people that they needed information from. We'll put it there. That's what we'll leave it at. So anyway, an analyst of sorts.
Okay.
And you know,
leave it at that.
And he loved to use the BATNA, which is best alternative to a negotiated agreement. And so he would say, like, in my line of profession, this is what I do. And I said, oh, so is that, he said something like, oh, my relationships never work out. I said, oh, is it because you're always using the BATNA? And he was like, what? And I was like, yeah, like, are you always using the BATNA test? And that's why these don't work out, because you're already jumping into whatever. Stop. And he was like, you've helped me more in 10 minutes than 10 years of therapists have. And I was like, I'm not your mom. Like, please stop. But so like,
okay, T.
Yeah, honestly, shout out to him. Like, honestly, he taught me that, right? So in that exchange, I got that back. So I went through this. This speaks a lot. It's very sassy. It is. I think this is my personality, and this is like feels like the true first.
We want to know the tea because we are open, and we want to know, like, is this podcast gonna hit?
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Period.
Yeah. Well, and I'll get into
there's nothing to it, you know.
No, I love it. Mm-hmm. All right. So I was going to see my cousin first, and I kept thinking,
Salt Lake?
She lives in Park City, and she had told me to bring wine, so I had to check a bag. And I'm in my head, I'm buying this wine from Highland Park Wine, and I'm like, this bitch is pregnant, and she's not even gonna be able to drink this wine for 10 months.
You knew.
And so I get there,
so
and
she didn't.
Well, I get there and I'm about to fly out, and I'm at Barnes and Noble to get like water and a snack. You know, I always love to like spend my fucking money on $30 of airport bullshit. Yeah, like I love getting trashy books and reading them. That's my guilty pleasure. Ooh. And so I'm like, oh, what do I need? And I had always wanted to bring this deck. Get that dick? What? No,
you want to bring that?
Yeah, yeah, right. Well, Anyway, okay, so I always wanted to bring this, and then I'm checking out and I'm getting like Nutella sticks and like a Dasani water or whatever the fuck ever.
That's like,
and I'm like oh man,
$20.
I forgot my tarot cards. And I look down and I fucking shit you not. It is the Wild Unknown, but it's an actual tarot deck. So same artist, same brand. It is a pocket-sized travel size.
They're very beautiful.
A pocket-sized travel size. And I'm like, get the literal fuck out of here. Like, this is all I've wanted. No, these are square. I'll show you in a second. So I'm like, these are the traditional tried and true, but it's a pocket size, same artist. I get to observe her in a different setting. 2 weeks later, I'm flying and I'm like, oh, I really wanted to read this book. I need a book. And I look down. It's The Art of War. It's a pocket size Art of War. So all this pocket size shit keeps popping up at the same Barnes and Noble. And I learned so much about leadership from that book. But anyway, so those are the 3 books. So I'm going to show you.
Art of War.
Yeah, that's how I sort of do
move this out of the way a little bit.
So inside, I told Deb. So inside, I usually keep my moonstone, and then my grandmother, who I referenced in the last episode, my mother gave me her engagement ring.
Wow.
So I keep that with the
That's
deck.
a
It's
big
just sort of like
connection,
just like I feel. So I never realized that my angel, the number 19, May Taurus 19.
Wait. Let's talk about angel numbers really quick.
I didn't know what it was. The
what
person
do you know?
who gave me this moonstone, the number 19 had popped up for maybe 15 to 18 years after my grandmother died. And I kept saying, oh, there's one, this one person, this connection I have, the 19th. And she said, do you ever think it was your angel number? I said, well, what's an angel number? And she said, it's a person trying to talk to you. My grandmother died January 19th. It's the grandmother that I spent her last day alive with her on January 18th.
Wow.
So this is her ring. I was named after her. I'm the 4th Marguerite.
Wow.
She was the 2nd. So that is like, I keep that with me. And then I also
beautiful
got
ring.
this, thank you, this amethyst from a
Also,
friend.
it just reminds me so much of like the diamond that's like, or the stone that's on the card
then
itself.
I have like, oh yeah, of course.
Let's show the camera, yes.
And then I also have like my moonstone, which is like literally on the cover.
Amazing.
And is on like literally.
Yeah,
yes.
gorgeous.
And so when I got it, I touched the deck and I was like, oh my God, shit. And she was like, I hope this isn't like, taking me from God. I was like, yeah, no. Been there, done that. So
You're like,
you
we're
guys are free
far.
to touch the cards. And so I'm going to explain a little bit about the archetype. So the archetype.
Should we just split half and then combine our halves?
Yeah, do that. Do it.
I feel like that's very much our target, without saying too much.
So
these are so cool looking at it already, and
the
I cannot wait to
archetypes
see your
are
product.
broken
your
into the
process.
selves, the places, the tools, and the initiations. The initiations are like the major arcana.
Okay.
And then the selves, the places, the tools are just like, I don't even know. Let's see how to explain it using the cards.
I feel like
she spends one whole chapter. Yeah, she spends one whole chapter being like, I couldn't include everything, and this is how I chose certain things.
Yeah.
From the alchemic sphere of depth psychology. So this is definitely my deck, right?
That's cool.
Their origin. Where do archetypes? Okay, this kind of explains what archetypes are.
Mix it again.
Where do archetypes come from? You can't spend much time with this question before stumbling across the work of psychologist Carl Jung. Though Jung was the first to develop and integrate the concept of archetypes into the world of psychology and healing, he would also be the first to acknowledge he had nothing to do with their origin. Even he was perplexed by the notion of their source. Where do they begin? From what source do they originate? What are their intentions? Enchanted by these unquestionable answers or unanswerable questions, Jung devoted his life's work to studying archetypes within his patients, himself, and the world. First, he called them primordial images, a term that suggests they come from the beginning and beyond. It also implies they're related to image and the imagination. The name itself implies that they're energies that have been swirling since the beginning of time and are inherent in our very existence. They cannot be suppressed, denied, hidden, gotten rid of, or fixed, no matter how hard we try. We inherit them from the universe, and they express themselves through us. They belong. So which archetype is the first archetype? Some might say the mother. It goes into it. Origin stories across cultures reflect this primordial separation, their territory. Throughout this book, you will hear me speak of the imaginal, Imaginal. Imaginal. What does it mean? Imaginal, right? Through the though these questions defy answering, the simplest way to put it is that the imaginal is the realm of poetry, images, metaphor, and the imagination. So every card gives you the picture, like the other cards that are synonymous with it. A write-up, when light, when dark, going deeper, they use imagery and poetry, and then like different sort of like quotes or like philosophical beliefs along the ends. So it actually it's very me, actually, like the more I describe it. And so it's kind of like they're broken up into like 3 different things or 4 different things, like I said. And so there's the selves, right? And so those are more the identities. Something like the selves would be the mother, the father, the starborn, the eternal child. The starborn is Pandora. The
like
places,
a card.
Right? Yeah, the places, the heart, the cave, the mountain, the river, the ocean. So like places to be and what that means if you're there. The tools, the flame, the tear, the riddle, the vow, the vision. I get the venom a lot, and the venom and the thread a lot. And then the initiations, eros, agape, Kairos and like the Anima Mundi. The Axis Mundi is actually one of the coolest readings. So I'm going to show you guys this book really quick and just let you flip through. So knowing that there's like different ways you understand and read the cards.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there are different
it feels very like intuitive, and I can understand why you have a certain process that you
like the selves, the places kind of break it up, and then if you go to the next page, it's the readings.
They're checking it out.
Okay. So it's just like different ways of like viewing yourself, and I think like I'm always worried. This is me being doubtful. I need to get over this. Will it fall? Will it hit? Will it land in the right place? It does. It always does.
It always will.
So like we have root, heart, crown. That makes sense to me.
This one takes some time to set up, but it's cool.
Wow.
Who, where, with what, why. I really, really like that. Who, what, where, why. It gets right to the fucking point. It gives you the tea, and it tells you what you want to know.
I feel like it's very me.
It's very me. I love that. Oh, and this one, there's a bookmark here.
This is the Axis Mundi.
Yes.
This is the last one I did for a coworker, actually.
What do you think works for, like, okay, we have a business, but we're two individuals that are...
So you're looking for, like, the purpose of this business? Because the Axis Mundi is a great, like, spiritual sort of touch point for that. The hero's journey, if you're looking at, like, what is your story with this territory?
I love that.
Let's go for that. What do you think?
I think whatever Marguerite thinks.
I want to show you guys one other. So this is the last deck.
What you think is the most...
I want to read you guys with this one, but this is the continuation. This is the pocket size, and I just want to show you guys the spreads on this one. So Dev has seen this deck before.
I love this. It's
what
so
a
beautiful.
Cool deck.
Yeah.
And it's so different, right? The vibe, it's like a little bit more Aquarius. I feel like this is like Cancer and this is Aquarius.
Yeah, this is like the Jack Skellington of the decks. Like,
I love that.
And the reading that I really love here.
Me too. I love the pops of color that are in it.
Yeah.
So this one they have past, present, future, a clarity spread. And this is what I think could be really good. Clarity, connection spread. And then they do the Celtic cross, which you guys know, and then your head spread. I've never done that one. So I would say check out the clarity, and then on the next page is connection, and I think that could be valuable for you guys as well. So maybe using that spread. If not, I think the hero's journey is great. I never really mixed between spreads between decks because I kind of believe like you're getting different things, you know. But I wanted you guys to take a look at that.
Are we going with one deck for sure? Or are we choosing between
the
two?
I think so the crux of our situation is we want to know what's in store for us as a partnership, a podcast, you know, something that we're going into.
A creative endeavor that we do together.
And so I think either the hero's journey or connection spread.
I leave it up to you, honestly. Whatever you.
What do you feel like you vibe more with?
Well, I feel like clarity spread is like the overall situation, contributing factors. Connection spread is like your challenge, the other person, their challenge, uniting force. I think your dynamic works. I don't think the question here is about if this dynamic works.
I agree.
You know, so I think that's why the hero's journey is more like what is this plight of this entity and this thing.
Like, and I'm getting an intuitive vibe towards that too. Like I kind of like, I don't know, I like to think of myself as a little hero, so I want to know the journey.
We're the hero.
The heroes of this pod.
Aquarius. We're the heroes of our own journey.
Oh,
duh.
Y'all always are.
Otho's an Aquarius. He's like, duh. Look at him.
So okay,
he's ready to see what he's really into. What's going on?
I love him. He's so cute. So my whole thing is like energy. Like I told Dev, like if you've ever seen Sweet Home Alabama when they're putting the lightning rods at the beach. Okay, so there's this scene where as kids and they're like in love, like blah 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 blah. But the whole like I think imagery for me is like they're putting lightning rods in the middle of a thunder and lightning storm. And like that's like how I feel. Yes, exactly. And that's exactly how I feel. Like I like am like a lightning rod and I'm like here to like amplify you. Like that's how I can maximize my power. If I have like a lot of energy and like just like a lot of like I just sort of channel it and say like, okay, so I'm gonna like actually tune in to you. And so like I like sink into you.
How can we help you with that?
No, you already have, because I already have gotten to know you. And so it's like a lot of like
After
just
I
sinking
sneeze,
in.
like 15 times.
No. It's like really sinking into another person. And like I'm basically like, so that's why I know, and someone like if I'm really synced in, I'm like, oh, you don't know what you want. You don't know what you want to say yet, do you? And they're like, how do you know? I was like, because I can tell you're not at peace with whatever you're trying to refine.
Got a vibe.
So I always like say like pull out the writer in somebody and say like, what is it? Like refine. Don't tell me, because the way that my thing works is like I'm so passionate. I will like throw whatever into whatever. I have to like depersonalize, like just make it very impersonal.
Yeah.
And the best way for me to do that is to know somebody, like, but you have to open up the channel, right? So it's this weird thing that I have to do. It's the Aquarius and the Cancer saying like, get to know them, but do not involve yourself.
Yeah.
It's observation.
It's a lot of deep observation, and it actually does take a lot of like energy. So my first step is usually sometimes I've worn this, sometimes I use it as my pendulum. This is my first time. I'm gonna try. Pearl is also like my sign. So first thing I do is sort of like we'll just kind of put this here. We'll also put this over my heart and like just sort of mellow out whatever else is going on so that I can refine, focus. So I'll just sort of do that. You guys have both already touched the cards. I can already feel it. And so like at this point,
we've been touching them.
Yeah. So usually I will shuffle, and then like if I'm talking to somebody, I'll say like, okay, do you want to touch them? We've kind of already been talking and touching and like touching the cards, whatever, you know what I mean? So I'll just kind of go through and like, so we're just going to talk about like, it's so interesting because we'll talk deeply about something non-specific and be like, so you really want to know this thing, like you're just sort of refining in your head. And I think you guys have kind of understood like your vibe together. And so like I just want you guys to like we're just not gonna talk for a little bit actually, and I want you guys to just like think about that, and like we're all just gonna think about that. Do you guys feel like you want to shuffle anything else?
I want to do one more cut.
Okay. Oh, it already disappeared. Okay. I sometimes take note of what pops up. So we're just gonna you take the whole thing and then you do what you got to do.
I'm just gonna do one cut.
And so we're just sort of like it's really funny, the whole if you checked out my episode, the whole idea of sitting in silence is like this is where I do that. It's just really sitting in uncomfortable silence, or comfortable for me.
I also feel like us two as like separate people are both very open in some ways. I think emotionally, and also in things that we may not know that we're very open, but I think that's what makes us work.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's what you pick up.
I think we're both very accepting. That's the thing. Like, I think that we're both just very understanding, and we like meet each other where we're already at, instead of being like, you have to meet me here. Like, we both understand that like
well, it's that double water, right? So it's like the observation, but it's the space, because I think Aquarius, and like this is what I butt up against, I think we do it in opposite ways, is like I feel it and then I observe it. You guys observe it and then you feel it. And and I think it's like, I think we can connect on the level that we're doing both. We're doing opposite, but you guys do the same thing at the same time.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just different, but like you're still going through that process. I feel like your intentions are like very clear, because it's like already like the way I know is like I can just, I don't know, like I can just feel it, and I'm like, oh, this deck is like, yeah, like I can.
It has power.
No, also, but like I can feel that like your intention is very clear. Like I can, like it's like popping out of my eye sockets.
Oh damn!
There's like an excitement to it. There's a fun, energetic excitement, which I appreciate about you, Aquarius, is because you're not nervous at all. Like you're nervous. The nervousness is not there at all.
I think that we've always been. I think that we have been levels of nervous about this project, but we've also been very like. I think it's been very natural.
Yeah,
and I also think that like it's been very clear that we've always wanted to help people with this. I don't know if that says too much for your process, but
no, and I think like it's almost like I'm getting like Scottish Highlander vibes, where it's like most people would think that they'd be like Leos or Aries or Sagittariuses, but I honestly feel like they're Aquariuses, right? Because they're like fighting for their home, but they're like going in like being berserkers and just like yelling and shouting and like just like they're almost excited for the battle and like they crave the frenzy and they're cool with it. Like they're not afraid of death because they bring the frenzy, you know. And I almost feel like that's more of an Aquarius than like a fire
Aquarius
sign.
and Scorpio at the same time.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like,
we do
pull
have
this out
very
of
like
my crotch.
We do have
it's our Aquarius with Scorpio rising.
But also like I know it's so stupid and it's whatever, but I really did love that meme that you tagged. Christy tagged me in this meme. Yeah. That was just like
the fact that you're getting hype about a meme is like everything I need to know.
It's always the January versus February Aquarius. So it was like January Aquarius was like someone like it was like very depressed but like drinking, and then like the February Aquarius was like a girl that was like
laughing in front of a burning house.
Like, the little girl that just has like the mischievous smile,
and it's like fire behind her, like a house is burning down.
Maybe I am a February Aquarius. Fuck on the moon side.
Oh my god, join me here. I love it.
Yeah, welcome to my dark side. Anytime someone says something like, "Oh, I didn't know you were that like deep or dark," I just send them Bishop Briggs like, "Welcome to my dark side." I'm like, "Oh, hi, first time," like the James Franco meme. Do you guys like think of your life in terms of memes ever? Or
I love memes.
I am not on social media.
I don't know if I think of my life in terms of memes, but I just identify.
I mean, the visual written crossover for like, me. It's like a picture out of a picture book.
Just like
I have like secondhand social media where like my partner is on social media, so like by default like I see it, or like Christy will like tag me. I'll go on Instagram maybe once a day for about 1 minute, and so that's kind of like as much exposure as I get.
You're very detached from social media.
I have to be.
Whereas I think I'm a little too addicted to TikTok.
That's that Pisces, dude.
Yeah. I was like, I gotta feel something.
Don't even get me into the jokes of like, oh, I did this just to feel something. Devin's like, wow, that was pretty dark. I'm like, oh.
No,
you love it though.
I'm like, what are feelings?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, yeah, exactly, dude. Exactly. All right, I feel like you guys are pretty focused about it. Like you're pretty unified about it. So I think I'm ready to cast the die, as I call it, which is just like laying them out. So I do a completely different process. Like for me, I shuffle.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. So I like say,
we would
like,
love to know.
I'm like, let's talk, but like, tell me a little bit about your life, where you're at. So I kind of get a sense of like maybe what's on the chopping block, but like, I don't want to know anything specific. Like, do not tell me what your question is. And the more you refine it, like the less you should tell me.
Okay. So less about the question, but more about things that have to do
with your because what I'm trying to do is understand your energy. How do you deal with things? How do you take energy in? How do you take energy out?
So as a group or a partnership,
I'm in. Yeah, I'm already in. No, I already know. Yeah, it was very. That's why I'm glad we did like the whole other thing first, because it was like, no, you guys are like very open and like you're detached from the consequence, which is one thing I never am. So it's really easy to read Aquariuses because it's like, oh, you guys are detached from the consequence. So it's
that's a really good way to put it. Because it's like, fuck it.
Fuck all is like my motto.
I would never.
My Aquarius moon always says that to my Cancer sun, like fuck the consequences, and my Cancer sun's like, you're gonna feel every consequence to this card, and my Aquarius moon is like, literally shut the fuck up, and then my Libra's like, are we done yet? Like,
oh my God,
this is way too heavy for the like flitty, shallow feelings I want to feel.
Well, you know that we're both Aquarius sun with Scorpio rising,
right?
And then you have the Scorpio moon and I have the Pisces moon,
but you have the water moon.
Yeah,
again, it's so funny that we're so like, we're just the flip opposite, which makes sense, right? Because you guys want to hear the tea, I want to know nothing because I already can feel it, and I'll analyze it on the back end, whereas you guys want to analyze it up front and feel on the back end, you know. And so it's like, oh, okay, so this part I'm gonna,
I think you probably already know. We don't need to say anything more.
Yeah, so I think we're going to go dark for a few minutes in terms of just like letting it be. And like this is where like it just like fight through the uncomfortable silence and just let yourself be for a couple, like, and that's what we're going to do.
I just want to say I love silence, so I'm just going to drink.
Okay. Yeah, me too. Actually, I'm going to finish off this.
We have more.
Oh my God, I thought we were done.
No, we have more.
No, I think we're done, dude.
Oh, you're so right. Okay. No, I think we have like a drop. I'll give it to you.
No, it's you, because I'll drink the mezcal.
All right. I will give you. We have a drop. I'll give you mezcal. You want mezcal?
Like more ice? Like a small splash.
Okay.
let's try without ice. Let's do round 2, no ice.
Okay.
I'm just getting a lot of giddy energy. It's cool. He strikes me more as a Leo. Your dog.
He's very handsome.
But it's like the vibe of love. Like his vibe, like his love vibe is Leo.
Do you communicate with animals?
Nah, I don't think so.
Okay, I've always wanted to know.
No, I just like dogs. That's it. I just am like, I wish.
He has a January 21st or 22nd birthday. He's very spoiled. Which I feel like that gives the Leo vibe.
Maybe.
I think MT is a Leo.
He's for sure a Leo.
Yeah.
Because I've always said, oh, that's why we get along.
Okay, so one thing I'd love for you guys to like clarify in your own hearts, even if like I'd rather you not talk about
in our own heads.
In your own heads, your own hearts, is like, is this a professional or a passionate question? And they can overlap, but like, is what you're thinking about like passionate, like hobby vibe, or like professional vibe? And it can be both, but they are different things.
Can I speak on it, or should I just feel it?
If you're cool with this method, I would prefer you feel it.
Okay. I'm just going to send you what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like I'm getting a stronger message from her
than
from
you.
You.
Like,
no, you're like telecasting it.
Yeah.
Whereas you're just like letting it kind of radiate. But I think it's interesting because I think it's like actually the same thing, but the way you're talking about it is different.
January and February.
But you would but you're the January or February.
I'm February.
But see, I would think that by the way that it's being like what I think it is, like I would think the one closer to Pisces would be her.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but I am the Pisces.
Right, but like closer to Pisces in a sun sign.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
like a February vibe.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see what you mean.
We're not that far apart actually, but it's
literally just our time.
I'm the beginning of the month. She's the end of the month. Yeah.
But your moon is a Scorpio, where her moon is a Pisces, so maybe that's where it's coming in.
Yeah.
Because it's like,
oh, but I'm very clear. People think that I'm okay. I don't know if I should speak on this, but people always think that I'm a Virgo. And they're really surprised that I'm a Aquarius, which I think is what you're getting at.
No, because I couldn't see you as a Virgo. You're too like cool to be a Virgo, to be honest. Like you're like very like you're Aquarius. You're detached enough. Virgos are too attached to the consequence, which is how Cancers and Virgos clash but get along.
Cool about it.
Virgo is,
but I'm very aware of the consequence.
Yes. I think like the way that you're manifesting the emotionality behind it makes sense. Like the Scorpio versus the Pisces. I want to
know what you got from my broadcast.
I'll tell you after this.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're thinking
I
about
I was
it.
Very clear.
You were hella clear. You were hella clear. You were like, hey, you was like Tower of Babel, and then Dev was like a secret in a cavern. I was like, oh,
that's very Devin.
Like you were like, I feel it, and I'm telling you, I'm feeling it, but I'm not like emoting strongly that I'm feeling it. Am I wrong?
No,
I think you're totally right.
I think that I just think that I think I'm emoting strongly, but like what my emoting is like I'm at like 50% and everyone else is at regular percent.
Well, remember, I'm in amplification mode, so I'm like, which is different than me amplifying my own shit.
I don't like to get my.
You're like the airplane tower, and we're like airplanes signaling what we're doing.
And I'm like the little Cessna.
You're like,
what's a Cessna?
Like a little like one person plane.
Like a private plane.
Oh, yeah. I've been on one of those recently, but it was like a 5-person plane. No, it was the medevac.
Scary.
It was
like,
fun.
This is literally what I'm doing as I go.
Chrissy's like the Boeing jet.
Yeah, she's like a new 787. Yeah, she's like, here I am. You're like, okay.
Yeah. And I'm like, we going to the same place. I'm just gonna like,
You're like,
yeah.
Otho's giving a vibe too.
No, I love. That's why I was like, he's got a little Leo in him.
He looks great for 9. He has a little 9-year-old buddy who lives down the street, and she's like, he looks really great for 9.
Yeah, that's
I'll have to say. I see the shelter dogs that are at 9, and they look really a lot worse. You just get a lot of vitamin, you get the best food, and we spoil you.
So you don't have to like affirm this, but like, is the question like more along like, will this be successful, or what is the progression of this journey? And I think I need you both to just like clarify that,
like
for yourselves,
literally right now, or
yeah, for yourself, yeah.
I already know. I think
okay.
You know.
All right. So the question again was, is this like a professional, like, will we be successful, or is this like, what is the trajectory, like, what is the orbit, like through this solar system? I feel like it's the solar system question, because you guys again are very much like detached from consequences. So for me, it feels like, you know, like you're cool with whatever, which is more of an orbit, and like to your point of like the gravity dev versus the like I need a desired outcome, which is why I know that you're not a Virgo.
I was projecting like, and it's funny that you actually literally said it. I was like, is this going to be successful?
Right. But I think, yeah. but I also feel like the question is not the like, it's not a yes, no success button, but you're asking about the holistic journey. It sounds like.
Yeah. I literally was kind of like, is this going to pay off?
Right.
Is the work that we're going to put into it going to actually like,
but you were visualizing the step of like the process of that. In my opinion, like it was more about the process and the steps versus the like, yes, no flip switch. Yeah.
No, yeah, that's true, because I feel, may I talk?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if it's going to mess up your thing, but I feel like we put a lot of hard work into this project that we don't get paid for. Mm-hmm. So guys, please donate to our Cash App at $sign wine.divination because we are not getting paid for this. We're just literally for your entertainment.
Or subscribe on YouTube.
Yeah. Whatever you can.
Yeah.
So I feel like we put a lot of hard work into this that is and I want to know, is this something worth continuing? Honestly.
Yeah, I think you're like asking about the process. Yeah. You know, of like, where am I at in this journey?
Yeah. And I'm like, does that have to do with like my own personal success, I guess?
Well, and I think then I don't want to spiral into like a rabbit hole of, other things. Fine. We can stay focused on this and maybe talk about it later. Well, but like, like what I feel like the question maybe for you is like, not to be like calling you out, like what is the trajectory of what is the trajectory of your spirituality, and is it bound up in this, or is this like a professional like hobby?
Yeah.
Like is this guiding your spirituality, or is your spirituality guiding this? Maybe.
Honestly,
sorry.
No. Do not be sorry, because Devin, you know what happened.
Look what just came up as I asked you that.
The mother. Okay, I have so much to say. Maybe this is like a third episode, but there's so much that has happened and so much that I've found out in the past few months that I would love to explore this maybe after this. And maybe this is another episode. Maybe this is a continuation. So maybe this is episode, maybe this is not.
Part 1, part 2.
We're going to find out.
I feel like for you, Dev, maybe it's more of like you like the hard work. You don't mind the hard work. And I think it's less, I feel like it's maybe more of a question for you about like where this is leading your spirituality. And I feel like you're in a different place with your spirituality, where it's more about like, you know, what is the next step in this journey, which is why I feel like I'm getting 2 different but like similar sort of answers of like, yes, no success flip switch, but also like what is the longer like trajectory of spirituality in this?
I totally agree with that, because I think we both being so similar but also being so different, we approach things in different ways.
Yeah.
Which is really great, but then also leads us to different places.
Yeah. Well, it's different questions, right? It's like I get where the middle ground is for the two. I'm bringing that up, right? Yeah. But and I think what I'm finding is like I'm yet again like the diplomat, the mediator between those two wants, you know, and saying like, oh, okay, I understand the shared common goal, but also understanding the individual sub questions. Yeah. But was I wrong about what?
No, I had a clear projection of
lay down. You don't want to lay down. It's okay.
Like what I wanted to see in my head. And I still think that is a step in the journey, but when and how much work it takes to get to that step is the question for me.
Okay, cool. So I think we're ready. So just to kind of go through, just for everyone at home, this is the heroine's journey, based on Joseph Campbell's story arc of the hero's journey. This spread reveals significant markers upon a seeker's path. It is a great reading to do when you are at the precipice of a big transition or a significant milestone, the new year, a birthday, a breakup, a new relationship,
our birthday be coming up. Okay.
A graduation.
Also, yeah, Aquarius it's our year. It's
or
our time.
Preparing for a trip. It offers a complete overview of what to expect from a mystical perspective, which is I totally forgot this. Keeping in mind that this 5-card spread is a pared down version of Joseph Campbell's diagram.
I love that.
Feel free to add additional cards as see fit. I usually go with the 5. The first one, the call. The inner voice, the agitation, the dissatisfaction, or the inspiration that prompts you to courageously embark on a new journey. So with this spread, I will read each card and say, channel in, and then we'll do it. So next part of this, so we'll go through and we'll read them, and we'll as they become relevant and pertinent, we'll focus on them.
I honestly
no need to double think it.
Love A Hero's Journey because so I was introduced to it in high school through my English teacher, Mr. Coombs. So if you're watching, thank you.
Shout out Mr. Coombs.
Yeah, at HKS Hong Kong International School.
Look what popped up again.
The mother.
Let's see if she comes up again. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure she will.
I told you this bitch don't fuck around.
Yeah, no, seriously.
This also popped up again, the orphan.
Oh shit.
That's me.
But yeah, it was something that I like that has been in my life for a really long time, the hero's journey. And yeah.
So this like spread spoke to you and you saw it and you were like, okay, Devin, we're gonna pick this.
No, I mean
I go with the flow.
I honestly was really open and I wasn't because it was kind of up to you.
Moon, I'm shook.
I'm like, it was kind of up to you. So then I was like, it's meant to be.
And I didn't know you in that
exactly.
time.
Yeah. We don't know each other.
I don't know you.
I'm like, you guys work together, but I don't know you at all.
Yeah.
Well, and I feel like we tiptoe around the occult, like at work, because we're like, well, because I'm just a different person. I'm a logistical.
Yeah.
It's hard. It is. It's more of a samba like tango. Yeah. It's more of a dance. So, okay, next phase, I sort of get it. What I do is I call it casting the die. Mm-hmm. So I'm sort of just gonna like focus in. You guys are just like high vibe frequencies. Yeah.
Man.
I don't know.
You're just like, bang, here I am. Some people are, I'm like,
oh, I feel like we're just all about anything at any given time.
I think we are who we are, like point blank.
Yeah.
Period.
Wait, do you guys just love this card? It's the comic. It's like a sad cat.
A cat with oh my god, with a hat and everything and
I've
crying
this
also.
In so many different
I like
spreads.
it.
I don't know
if
is this pic? Oh, I'm reading it upside down. No, that's right side up, right?
No, it's
for the camera.
It's
oh my god.
Okay. So just gonna like kind of channel in. Like I just like to kind of do this because for me it requires like deep discipline. So like it's a fine line between like tee hee hee and then being like I gotta toe this line because I have to like
you have developed
load
skills.
The line. I've like I want to like throw the line out.
I'm ready to be fished.
Second time that I've pulled the father card too.
Mother, father, orphan.
Sounds
vibe.
Which is a fucking parent-child relationship.
Yeah, honestly, I think that both of us have very intense things. Sorry, parents, if you're watching. They recently found out about the podcast, so
yeah, both.
Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for my
It's okay.
Episode 3 is like parent archetypes, and we just do archetype. We do the archetype shuffle, maybe.
Okay,
I'm in. Okay,
find out.
Fuck around and find out.
Love it.
So again, just like sort of tapping into your energy, reading your vibes, like not meddling, melding.
This but sort you can of meddle. Like it's okay.
No. I don't like to meddle. Not in this. This isn't my place to meddle. This isn't. I meddle in other places. Obviously, my love life, as you guys saw, I don't meddle here. This is someone else's spread. This is someone else's life. I don't meddle in that. I only fuck up my own life. That's the only fun part.
Well, I mean, I felt metal and like you're gonna have a feel,
Yeah.
Not in that way that you said, but I respect.
Yeah.
No, I like to be like a pure mirror. It actually like it's so like funny. That. It's like I will do the self-discipline for like other people.
No, you always do this. Okay, let me get paper towels.
Sorry. No, I love
Happy New Year, guys! It's 2023. I'm getting paper towels.
Both bottles.
It's the first. It's the first spill of the year.
I'm sorry. I do this every time.
Do you have like a middle-aged spirit guide?
Me?
Male? Yeah.
I don't think so.
But I tall, lanky.
I think here's the thing. Is that I have been toying with the idea of deity work.
Okay.
But I haven't quite latched. I don't know who I'm supposed to be working with. What does that mean?
Yeah, I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, I don't know, but I think there's been a lot of. I have like a whole story that I feel like I want to tell you, and maybe this is another episode, or maybe I should go into it now. I don't know.
Well, maybe after the reading, but yeah. I'm getting the vibe like family, ancestry, tall, lanky, male, goofy.
True, but I don't know about the whole male goofy thing. But I don't know. I also feel like gender for me is something that's very fluid, so I also don't. Yeah,
maybe I'm perceiving, and again, I'm going through a phase of masculine versus feminine energy, so maybe I'm not the best person to enumerate that energy.
No, but I totally like identify with that because I feel like it just comes in waves.
The mask, that just is what came up, is like almost like a fun, goofy sort of like spiritual vibe.
Okay. I mean, that's so interesting. I don't know. I
don't know. Like, we'll see. We'll see if what happens. Yeah. But okay. I think I'm ready to.
Dude, what comes up for me is like Loki. But I'm just like, I've never worked with them. Should I work with them? I don't know.
I feel like
I'm
getting major yes.
I'm getting yes.
I also love Loki as a Marvel character.
That's why.
I never watched the Marvel. It's so weird because before I got here, for some reason, I thought we were going to talk about. I was going to make some metaphor about Marvel characters, and I'd never seen it, and I was like, I'm not going to bring it up.
Maybe I should work with him.
Yeah, I actually got a Marvel character vibe before I got here.
But I've honestly been waiting for a sign, and maybe this is it because it's like. There's been a lot of
there's a crossover episode in Hercules and Xena where they do Nordic mythology, and Loki is like this blonde dude. I guess he's a blonde dude in all of them, but Loki causes a lot of mischief, and manipulation. And I haven't seen any of the other ones, but it was so funny. It was something about it was about the stones, and I was gonna make a joke about being like an Avenger with a stone. So I was gonna bring up the Marvel, but I've never seen any of them.
Oh wow,
that's weird. That's so weird.
And I didn't even know if you liked.
Maybe
Marvel.
That's a sign. No, but I love Loki as a character, but I've never thought to work with him as a deity because I've always worked with all these it's like I work with I have a statue over there. The stone, what the fuck?
I'm telling you, crazy. Dude, I'm telling you, this deck will just tell you.
Okay, that's the sign I needed.
Well,
probably
in the underworld.
Shit. Okay, yeah, because I've always worked with Guan Yin, the Chinese god of mercy and compassion.
Damn, it sounds like I need some of that in my life.
No, yeah, there she is, and
this is the second time I've pulled this one.
That's crazy.
This is a major arcana. Mm-hmm. I was just because I track it from a statistical standpoint. I actually keep a notebook of all the ones I draw in the position.
It definitely means something.
Well, statistically, if you're if this is a matrix, what is this statistical probability of pulling? I always say to my friend, the Aries, Gemini. I'm like, but I like the stats. And she's like, you don't have to tell me you like the stats because she's a speech therapist. She's brilliant. She created a stroke scale at the University of Maryland Teaching Hospital for stroke patients.
Oh, wow.
She's a healer for sure. She's the one that I said, and I think in other lives, maybe we were different kinds of soulmates. In this one, we're I'm marrying her and her future husband. I'm the officiant at the ceremony. Shit. Yeah. So we very much have these vibes, and she's always like, you don't have to tell me it's about stats. It's okay.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, but it is. She's like, it is and it isn't. And that's why I'm like, this is why we soulmates. And in another amazing. Life. Yeah. No, she just we're so different. We're so different.
You're doing the same thing, but in different ways. For you with numbers and for her with the orphan again.
That's what I'm saying.
Fuck? Okay.
Sometimes I just love the just randomness. So we'll get to it.
So crazy.
But part of it is the shuffle and what comes up before. Because once you cast, once the die has been cast, I pull the cards and you'll see how I do that.
No, but it's crazy that
and then I pull away every other option that's not available. Because what it is what it is. And I take, funnily enough, I pull away all other options that are not within the sphere.
And it's crazy that you said tall, lanky, guide, male or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's so weird. Okay, we have to go into it. I have so many questions. I also have so many what I got a bone reading.
Oh yeah, she got a bone reading
at
Pulled
Bitchcraft
this up a few
LA.
times. Okay, what did the bone reading say?
Should I go into it? Should we save it for
Let's
another?
let's do this.
Another episode. Okay.
I will listen in.
We're recording like 4 episodes right now, so
Yeah.
Sorry, we're all wearing the same things for this whole month.
Yeah, we are.
It's 2023. We're wearing the same thing.
Yep.
Deal with it.
All right, so this is what I call the most humanistic part of my process, where it's clunky and ugly.
No, I love that.
And I it's like imperfect, and I feel like you're gonna be like, whoa, really? And I'm gonna say yeah. So this is the part where I cast the die. I've sort of like felt the energy. We've talked.
I'm ready.
We've triangulated.
Throw it down.
It's just like brimming. Okay, so I cut it in half, and I just like honestly just do this.
That's Devin.
That's a me vibe.
It's
and I'm always like
do
whatever you want.
And it's so chaotic, right? And you want to
No,
change
this
it.
is how I shuffle.
Devin loves that.
I shuffle like this.
So card 1, the call, the inner voice, agitation, dissatisfaction, or inspiration that prompts you to courageously embark on a new journey. So I just need you guys to I close my eyes. You can do whatever. I need you to focus in the call, that inner voice, agitation, dissatisfaction, or inspiration, the change. Okay, this one. Okay, the next one is the threshold. The obstacle to your leaving, the habit that wants to hold you back. It's likely it has held you back many times before. So the threshold, the thing, the sort of springboard, right? So I just want you to focus in on the springboard. That's like gonna propel you back, but is holding you until you let it flow you forward. The ordeal, card number 3.
The ordeal.
The ordeal.
I love that.
The deeply profound challenge or dilemma you will face along the way. This is the lurking shadow that will reveal itself so you can grow. Okay. So I see this as like the underworld, the shadow card of your desire or want to know. So you don't have to know what your shadow card is. You have to be open to accepting your shadow card. So the deeply profound challenge or dilemma. Whenever it's something I'm like, well, I don't know. That's why I'm asking. It's like, well, are you open to it? You know?
Yeah.
So are you open to the challenge or dilemma that you face along the way? Whether you're conscious or unconscious. This is the lurking shadow that will reveal itself. So it's okay if you don't know. Don't feel pressure to know. Feel pressure to be open to knowing. Y'all feel that? Okay. Okay, the boon, card 4. The reward, wisdom, skill, or blessing you will attain on the journey. This gift is mystical by nature and cannot be found in creature comforts. So this is one I say you never see coming. Yeah. Or it's because it's the climax of the story when you get
you're blinded.
The secret gift, but you didn't know, right? And so I think, again, this is an openness versus a knowing. I think the first two are a little bit more reflective and kind of writing a script. The other ones sort of open up. So the boon, the reward, wisdom, skill, or blessing you will attain on the journey. This gift is mystical by nature and cannot be found in creature comforts, which is so annoying because it kind of implies you have to give something up. The sacrifice, the trade-off, the trading in ignorance for knowledge. So the whatever that is, are you open to that? It's funny because I feel two different pools on the different sides. So I would just ask if you guys, you don't have to speak, but just sort of mentally sort of sinking in with each other and sharing the common goal, the unified goal that you believe you both share, and just sort of having that. So let's like take a moment to do that. Because I think you can't get the reward without a common goal, like a common maybe sacrifice. So the reward, the boon, the trade-in, the stick-up. You get robbed of something, but you find a diamond ring on the ground after your bank account gets robbed, maybe. Okay. Okay. The return. What you can expect to encounter upon your return. The homecoming impacts your ability to integrate meaningful change. Prepare accordingly. So it's the comeback, right? It's the 360.
Mm-hmm.
So also that was very cool, whatever you guys did, because I could feel it. Like it went much more towards the middle on the last one, which is where I found it, which was almost exactly in the middle.
I think we know the goal.
Yeah. The return. What you can expect to encounter upon your return. The homecoming impacts your ability to integrate meaningful change. Prepare accordingly. So what is the symmetry for you two? Are you both prepared to change?
I don't know.
I'm always open to change.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sorry. Just had to ask.
I feel like for us it depends on the context, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So the return, what you can expect to encounter upon your return. The homecoming impacts your ability to integrate meaningful change. Prepare accordingly. Okay, so we've gotten the 5. I'm going to take away all of the other possibilities. Going to shuffle into back into like a little collapse.
The orphan on the bottom.
Okay, can you? Hey, witches, Christy here. We hope you've been enjoying this reading so far. This episode got so long that we've decided to split it into 2 parts. So tune in next week for a continuation of this reading. This has been an episode of Witchy and Whining About It, a segment of Wine and Divination, with your hosts, Devin, Christy, and special guest host, Marguerite Noki. Follow us on Instagram at wine.divination. You can find Marguerite at Marguerite Noki. Like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at wine.divination. And please rate, review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Join our coven on Discord and visit wineanddivination.com for links to all our socials and podcast platforms. Bye!